I'm Big Bob.
What happens when you take a true Texan and send him to Hollywood to make his mark in the limelight? We're about to find out, because a Texas boy can't stay gone long. This is the podcast where two totally different worlds collide. Welcome to TEXASWOOD, where two entertaining fellow Texans, Randal and Bryan Promo Miller, get together with friends and surprise guests as often as possible to cuss and discuss. You'll experience the world from their Hollywood, yet very Texan point of view. Hollywood and Texas. If you ain't been to neither, then you gotta tune in. And if you've been to both, well, you may understand. It's time for TEXASWOOD. Let's see what the boys are up to this week.
Welcome to TEXASWOOD.
We are at the Neon Moon, our home away from home.
Yeah, it kind of is, actually.
Yeah.
Neon Moon in LaPorte, Texas.
And this is Randal Reader, that guy.
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
And Bryan Promo Miller.
I am.
Yeah, he is.
And we're sitting here with a man that we've both been listening to for at least 25 years.
Yeah, at least 20. 20 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, a legend. A legend. We're sitting with the Unisinger.
I don't know what that means. Okay.
You look a little like the
Like the
Unabomber
Unabomber,
from
you
here.
know.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, yeah,
I've heard that
man.
before too. Sorry, I
So,
just haven't heard it. Una Singer. So
Yeah, we're sitting with Matt Baird, man. Oh, you just brought some gospel up in this bar at Save Savage Ministries, or Save Savage Sunday Service, which is a part of Save Savage Ministries. This thing we got going, it's turning into a ministry.
it's really cool.
It was just a thing that God told me to do, and then I don't know. It was like, really? Is this just me being crazy, or you really want me to do this? Like,
It's that too. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
crazy. Yes.
yeah, it's awesome, man. So we were happy to have you, man. So cool to. I mean, we've been so excited. We were promoting it and all that kind of stuff. Had a big turnout, and yeah, incredible.
I love it that 2 weeks ago I had no clue what it was, and then I'm here today, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. And so it makes my wheels spin about next time. What are we doing next? It's we together. I'm part of the family now, whether you want me to or not.
No, totally.
So.
And that's the thing. And people say, "Oh, what y'all?" I go, whoa, there's no y'all. Like, I mean, we're in Texas. Y'all's cool, but this is us. This. It's got nothing to do with me. I remember even with my business back in the days, I was like, everybody's replaceable. So never think you're replaceable. If the Bible don't prove that, it's like if you don't do it, God will choose somebody else.
He's very creative with who he uses when he uses them.
Yeah.
And then if you even look at it, of how small the world is, that
Right.
we are sitting here right now, and the chain of events that has happened.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Producer Patrick.
Crazy.
I mean, dude, he calls me and says, "Hey man," or I sent an email or something. It's like, "Hey man, my buddy Matt from Spoken's coming in town and all this. Would y'all want to have him?" Like, yeah.
So cool.
Why are you even asking?
That's just silly to ask, but thank you for asking, sort of.
It's
but
really
yes.
cool. It's cool.
And he gave his testimony up there,
Yeah.
And Spoken is pretty much responsible for him going and seeking God and accepting Christ into his life.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm standing. It's always weird when you're standing up there while someone's introducing you anyway. But when you're standing up there and they're saying all these really nice things about you that had to do with life change, one, you're absolutely like, I am not worthy to be standing here. I was not worthy to be able to do music at that point, even when that happened. And then you look at how many years later it is, and the fact that I still get to play music. And it's never been I have to. It's never been like, oh, bummer. I can't believe it. Like it's you're living a dream every day. And your dream is for a purpose that's so far beyond you and bigger than you. It's whatever. And you said a minute ago, like, God could use anybody. He could use anybody but me too. Like he's like, you know what? You're not going to do it, or you're going to have kind of a poor attitude. I'm going to use someone else.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, it's wild. You know, it's unbelievably humbling for me, because I'm just this, you know, I don't know, this crazy guy that went off to be a pro wrestler and then went off to Hollywood and all this kind of stuff. Now here I am, you know, God tells me to do something in the shower, and I'm like, okay, you know, and I go start this Sunday service, you know, but, you know, it was just, he lined it up. I mean, it was confirmed one after another, and then it's just grown like crazy. And, you know, I guess they didn't see, well, they can go to Safe Sabbath Sunday service and listen to your performance and you're talking about, but you talked about the skateboarding and all that stuff, and then you said you want to be around these people, and that's really what got you to, you know, to becoming that brought you into the body of Christ, you know, and to becoming a believer.
Yeah.
So what got you into the business or the band Spoken? I mean, how did that happen? Tell us that genesis. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it was all about skateboarding. I came to Jesus at 14, and I just kept skateboarding, whatever. I graduated high school, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, what? I guess the next thing is to take, you know, some community college classes and work for my uncle. And so I was working doing stonemasonry, landscaping. The best part was I was around my brother, my dad, my uncles, whatever, but I didn't enjoy the work. I didn't like smashing my fingers half off every day. And so for a while it was like, God, my prayer was like, God, what am I supposed to do with my life? God, what am I mean, for a long time, months upon, you know, probably 2 years. And then I realized one day, I was like, I'm saying, like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Right. And I realized, like, God, what can I do for you with my whole life? Right. And that's when it's like, I want you to start a band. I want you to tell people what you heard when you're 14. And so we did. We started a band. We were jamming in the living room at our guitar player's parents' house. And we're like, what are we doing? We started trying to figure out how to record songs, how to write songs. And, you know, very luckily, after 9 months, we were able to sign to a record label out of Newport Beach, California. So we had a record then, and we're like, we have a record deal. And that was a whole other world that we knew nothing about. We learned quickly,
Sure.
a lot of things the hard way. But it's been that. It's like, okay, trying to like, okay, what's next? And nothing has been easy.
Was your
nothing.
first deal a good deal, record deal?
No.
Okay, so then it's pretty much like 100% all bad deals.
So
like the first deal is always a bad deal. I think there's only a handful of bands that had a good deal.
It's rare.
Yeah, it's really rare.
And it was a good deal for the label, like it was. But for the artist, it wasn't. And we didn't know any different. I mean, we had we needed an entertainment lawyer.
Right.
But yet there was a divorce lawyer that went to our church. I'm like, could you look this over? He's like, I'll look it over. So it read legally, but not in favor of the artist.
Right.
And so like that, okay, we should have known what we were signing.
Sure.
So I look at it too as like the label, that's the deal they offered, and we jumped all over it.
Right.
We were ignorant to what it was.
Sure.
So that was kind of our fault.
Right. But at the same time, I mean, you don't really have power or you don't have any leverage when you first start. So it's almost like, you know, I definitely don't think someone's, you know, foolish for taking a bad deal the first time, because you don't really have another deal. You know, I mean, it's like, hey, how many other labels are knocking at our door? None? Okay, well, we got to sign.
Yeah, and
Right?
it is so often, like, even now in our lives as just people, like, a lot of times we're like, that's the opportunity, take what you can get. And that's not always the right answer, though, you know, but if you don't know. But I mean, basically, we learned a lot of lessons the hard way.
Right.
And so now we're a little more hesitant, but we're more aware. But we didn't have someone teaching us. And so, like, if you have someone that's, like, willing to sit and have a conversation and you learn from them, that's going to protect you from a lot.
Right.
And so not only in business, but in life, in relationships, whether it be with your wife, with your children, with your job. If you got someone who's already gone before you and they've done it, like, hey, teach me. I am a sponge. Help me here. But often we don't slow down long enough to even hear how someone's actually doing. Like, how you doing? Oh, good, man. Oh, cool. Anyway. No, we need to slow down. And it's the same thing when it comes to business decisions, ministry decisions, buying a house, buying a car. Like, hey, you've been there, done that. Teach me.
Right.
And if we're not teachable ever in our life, why would we be teachable when we're older? It's because we haven't stopped to be like, okay, God, use me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
When it's a surrender, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, we're just, we have to be teachable.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, if you're, just out in the workplace, you have to be teachable, So, yeah, so that happened. Your first album. Now, did you have the same label on your second album and all that? How long did you stay with that label or that deal?
We were in the same deal for 3 records, and then they were kind enough. I say kind enough. Like, we got released from our 4th album. We didn't have to do it,
right.
And so we just kept touring. And during that time frame, we were talking with Tooth and Nail Records and Goatee Records, but we were still just touring. We weren't really taking the time to slow down and figure out what are we doing. It's like tour, go.
Sure.
But we talked to both labels for a year and a half. So we were kind of courted by both labels for literally 18 months, and finally. We felt like making the move to Tooth and Nail Records was the best. So we did 3 albums on Tooth and Nail, and it was great. It was totally fine. They did everything they said they would do. We toured nonstop. That was when people still cared about buying records,
Sure.
Sure. And then after that, we did 3 one-album deals each time. Everyone did what they said they're going to do, but we also... Again, we learned valuable lessons throughout the first, 3 albums that we did. So we were able to apply that to life. The same way, like, a kid that has parents that actually teach them, they can apply that to their life when they're older.
Yeah, absolutely. I had this quote. I don't know where I saw it. Maybe Tony Robbins or something. But it was wisdom comes from experience. And experience comes from bad decision, I believe is what it is.
Yeah.
From making bad decisions,
Totally. Absolutely. So. And everybody, whether they care about God or not, that's true in their life.
No, totally.
With everything.
100%.
But then once they realize, oh, God is for me. God is trying to bring people into my path to keep me from making those decisions. Right. It makes it so much easier. Like, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen. It's not a weird world that we live in, and human beings are still human beings, and they're mess ups. Like, we are all in the boat together, but when it's like, hey, I want to do it different this time, So.
Playing with Spoken and y'all have a very distinct sound, and then your solo stuff is a bit of a departure from that.
Yeah.
So is that 100% you? You're just sitting down writing music and you want to put it out because it's what's in you without the band? I mean, I know you still play with Spoken, but...
Yeah. I mean, I think basically it all came about because, like, during the winter months, it's really hard to tour. Like, it's just really difficult. And so I wanted it to be where I wasn't doing, like, trim carpentry between tours with the band, you know? I'm like, nobody wants to cut their fingers off. Nobody wants to get, fall off a ladder, whatever. Right. But, like, I was like, okay, I need these to play. And so what can I do? And so I started learning cover tunes to play at bars, churches, coffee shops, people's living rooms, backyard barbecues, whatever. Because if you are able to play a song that someone knows, whether they know you or not, but they hear that song like, oh, I've heard that song. I like that song. Either it takes them to a place that they're like, oh man, it was simpler then. I love this song, whatever. Or they're kind of like, I don't know who this is, but I mean, I like that style of music. You're able to relate to them as complete strangers. And so I just tell them, like, hey, I'm going to play some songs that you've heard before so we can become friends, you know? And so as you go there, and then they start to like, okay, I want to hear who this is or more songs. And then you start to share things that actually matter, which is life experiences. Where do you find your hope? Where are you now? Where, you know, and even now it's like, where were you? Who were you a year ago? How are you different now? Right. Whatever you learned during that year, keep applying it to your life and keep moving forward. But I did it to where I wasn't working odd jobs between tours with spoken. And so then it was like, okay, I love this. I love playing cover tunes. I love writing songs that aren't about screaming my brains out. I like the pace of an acoustic set. But also you can stop after the first chorus of a song and tell a story, like, and just never come back to that song. And people are like, yeah, totally. But I do it all the time. I just enjoy it. And on acoustic tours, I take my wife and kids most of the time, and they enjoy that for the most part.
That's awesome.
They don't enjoy the long drives, but it's just where I love all genres
Unlike
of
you,
music.
who enjoys the long drives.
I'm cool with it. Like I listen to music. I call people.
I love it.
But it really is something that the longer I'm able to do music, I like so many different things about it.
Right.
I like meeting people. I like playing music. I like telling stories.
Man, thanks so much for coming by, and I mean, for one, on behalf of Save Savage Sunday Service, thank you so much for coming out and blessing us. But also, for taking the time to jump over here on TEXASWOOD. We saw it as an opportunity to get you on here and talk about your stuff. And what about new albums, anything like that? What do you got going on?
We're writing new music. It's kind of hard. It's like you go back and forth. It's like, is releasing a full-length record during a pandemic a good idea, bad idea, whatever? But we've released like 5 songs since last February. And so it's been cool. And we played 3 of those new songs live the other night in San Antonio. And so to be able to play shows at all is awesome. But yeah, working on a record.
Forgive me, I was watching I can't remember the name, but I was watching on YouTube, like one where you were kind of sitting in front of a blind, and your guitar player was in his place. So I guess y'all filmed it at y'all's own homes, like, which is interesting how this whole Zoom has really changed things, and where everyone is going to work via Zoom, and it looked like y'all recorded a video that way. That was cool. I mean, not Zoom, but
Well, JR lives in Phoenix, Arizona. I live in Des Moines, Iowa, and we got contacted by something called the Grizzly Awards.
Right. And that was it.
Yeah. And they're like, would you guys be able to come and do Nightmare? Because Nightmare
that's an awesome song, by the way. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I was like, but if you can do a video, that's fine too. And so,
that's what that was for. Was actually for the Grizzly Awards. I got it.
Yeah.
Now I'm thick-headed, man.
No.
But
so
I get it.
It.
That was so cool, man. So that was kind of like a live performance for the Grizzly Awards.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so cool, man. That song was awesome.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's basically like they're like, can you do this? And so I hit up JR. I'm like, hey, what do you think? He was like, just record yourself singing it and send it to me, and I'll edit it. And so that's what happened. So it's like, I was in my dining room. I'm like, you know what? Like, that kind of looks moody and cool and dark. And so, and I have no clue what I'm doing when it comes to video anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right. So I did it, sent it to him, and he sent it. It's like, what do you think? I'm like, it's really cool. It was like, okay. And that was it.
That's
JR
awesome,
was
man.
the talent behind that.
That's
so I'm
awesome.
like, all right. I don't know what I'm doing.
Awesome.
He knows that.
Well, man, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you.
We'll have you back. We can't wait. I can't wait to. We're talking about something in Needles, California, and all this stuff. No telling what we're going to end up doing together.
You never know.
You've always been an outside the box Christian, and I certainly am. Just because I don't fit in a box, Not just because I'm big, but also just because,
Totally.
I don't fit in that box. Like I just, I'm unboxable. But man, super cool. Thanks for coming to TEXASWOOD, and God bless you, and be safe on your trip back home.
It's only like 16 hours. No big deal.
Oh, no big deal.
Thank you.
You'll be okay. Text us and let us know you got home. We'll say.
I will.
Absolutely. Well, cool. We'll thanks a lot, and we'll see you back on TEXASWOOD in a few minutes.
TEXASWOOD is brought to you by Muscle Cars of Texas in Alvin. Auto Restoration, the premier shop for classic builds in Texas.
TEXASWOOD.
We're back with Dr. Jones.
But we're still at Neon Moon in LaPorte, Texas.
So, Dr. Jones, what was it like growing up with Sean Connery as a dad? Dr. Jones!
That's it. I love it. So this is Starner Jones, Dr. Starner Jones. And, so not only is he a doctor, as promo gave it away, but he's also an aspiring screenplay writer and a novelist, and has written quite a bunch of stuff, enough to get a little attention of Hollywood, which is why we got you on TEXASWOOD.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, and it's okay to talk now.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Man, tell it. So, all right, we met through my friend Aaron, which has been on the show.
Yeah.
Aaron Bancroft, and then, man, y'all had a good script, real cool, something that the world needs, like really a powerful, well, not spiritual, but amazing. Well, it's a really good comedy, and so we and the world does need comedy. I mean, that's the thing. Like we were on a meeting the other day, and it's like, no, the world needs this kind of a movie.
With all that's going on in the world, it does, and people are looking for a reason to laugh, and we intend to give it to them.
Yeah.
As a verse in Proverbs says, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones.
Which might be the only gospel that people get from the movie we're about to produce. Lord, forgive us. Seriously.
Oh, we're going there.
You see him, he's blushing because it's a trip, man. It's a trip. It's a party movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Joel, wherever you are out there in Arkansas, we wish you were here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He's having to take all the punishment. No, man. So we're excited about doing the show. You know, or the movie. We're kind of moving pretty fast, man. It's awesome. So we're not going to talk too much about the movie.
Move fast.
We're not talking too much about the movie, but just as far as I'll let you deliver the I guess the tagline that seems to have really stuck. Y'all wrote it, I think, but it's been massaged, and now the tagline works, man. It's awesome.
It does. Party general indiscretion has no limit. The log line is based on a true story, by the way, told by those who lived it.
Right.
Okay.
Terrifying thought. But the log line is during the holiday season in New Orleans, charismatic surgeon Jay Roman overcomes a host of obstacles to save the life of a little girl and become the #1 party med school. So it's based on the experiences of my chief resident.
Well, we don't have to say who it's based on, just because there might be laws.
It's Revenge of the Nerds or Animal House meets
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy. Okay.
I think you pitched it to me, I think, as Van Wilder meets Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. Yeah,
and,
I can see that.
And I was like, okay, and that's.
The story took shape in real life as it's based on the experiences of my chief resident. And we got serious about it after my neighbor in Memphis was best friends with a guy named Brent Summers, an attorney in Portland, who was in Animal House. He played the role of Carl Phillips, editor of the Daily Faberrian.
Wow.
And he was one of the many people who we tormented with the script when it was 159 pages and terrible. And he said, you should get serious about this and try to meet some people who can help you make it happen. So we did. And so it's been an interesting journey. I was looking through the email yesterday. the first correspondence between the person whose life it's based on and myself was on July 30th, 2016.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a long road, but as a result of...
Which really is, believe it or not, kind of a short road. I mean, there's movies that have taken... I mean, even Ryan Reynolds himself. Well, for one, I mean, man, I mean... So I'm just not going to run off the name, but the creators, like John Liefeld, Liefeld, I always pronounce this wrong. But anyway, the creator of Deadpool, and then the writers of Deadpool, and then when they got together with Ryan, it took like 5 or 6 years to get that thing done. And I mean, that's a major star power, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're on a fast track, man.
Well, we've been very fortunate. Aaron Bancroft, whose father, by the way, was a distant relative of Anne Bancroft, who's married to Mel Brooks.
Oh, wow.
As a result of my accountant's son introduced me to Aaron, through Aaron I met you.
Yeah.
And so it really is interesting how things have come together.
Yeah. But that's the way Hollywood is. And y'all actually went out to Hollywood.
We did.
It didn't work out so well. Because sometimes stuff don't work out so well in Hollywood.
But it was a learning experience. Looking back on it, at the time I wouldn't have said that, but we did learn a lot.
Right, absolutely. Well, and now you're in TEXASWOOD.
Yeah.
About to make a movie in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know.
So, you know, the whole process, though, you're going to look back on it, and you're not going to want to trade anything. I mean, really, because the whole process is in that experience, and who knows what will come of it, you know?
Yeah, I can feel it. I feel the energy. It's a process that is foreign to us.
Sure.
But we're getting an up close personal lesson in the business.
Well, Randal, I mean, people are always trying to give him stuff, you know, and for him to take the time and read it and everything and actually
not like money
it.
Or anything. They're just trying to give him.
Well, they're trying to give him scripts. I've seen people try to give him scripts just you know, out and, you know, sitting down having breakfast at Denny's in Stephenville or something, you know. So, you know, I've been writing the script, but he actually liked it enough that he'd say, you know, hey, man, I really think we're going to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We feel very fortunate.
Yeah.
And thank you, Randal, for doing that.
Well, I mean, you know, thank you for writing it. I mean, on our call, that's what, you know, it was amazing, you know, because everyone was like, you know, you were very humble about it. And it's like, hey, we can stop anytime. It's like, no, we want to hear, you know, and we did a table read with them. And, you know, and it was just, it was cool, man. Everybody's like, no, you wrote a script, man. You got a script and now it's here. And that's a big thing. I mean, a lot of people don't get this far, you know, and then, hey, man, we're about to do us a movie. So
we've been very fortunate, and thank you for what you've done so far, and we're looking forward to it.
So how long you been a doctor? He's a real doctor, man.
I know.
Like,
graduated from...
Not like Dr. Pimple Popper. I mean, although he's probably a real doctor, too, but...
Graduated from medical school 2005, and graduated from residency in 2010.
Nice.
So, 15, almost 16 years now.
Right, and you're an ER doctor
ER
now.
doctor, and also do acute medical detox.
Right. Well, that's pretty awesome. So now, as far as writing wise, I mean, I know you got other things, and we're not going to talk about everything. And we'll, if we can't talk about it, don't, you know, just say, oh man, I don't want to talk about that right now.
Okay.
But like, you've written some books and things like that, and so some stuff that really interests this Save Savage.
Yeah. So. Purple Church has...
Dude, all right. I was hoping you would talk about that.
All right.
Purple Church has roots in my hometown in Mississippi, and...
don't tell the town in case people know. You know, we don't
they know. and by way of Memphis, it wound up in Texas. It was published by Texas Review Press, the late Paul Ruffin, Texas 2009 Texas State Poet Laureate, published it at Texas Review Press. Won the 2011 George Garrett Fiction Prize, and that was a novella titled Purple Church. And then the second work was a novel, Mother City, published by World Ahead Press. Now got picked up by Ingram Spark. And then the third piece that wrote was with Epperson, Party General. And then most recently a country music song titled Dents on a Chevy that I wrote with Leslie Satcher, who wrote Troubadour, which was cut by George Strait. She also wrote Politically Incorrect by Gretchen Wilson, a bunch of other songs. And the other co-writer is Will Robinson, who wrote the score for The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Fox and Hound 2. Wow. And it's just been picked up by Ty Herndon, who's going to cut it, looks like, in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Huh.
He had 3 number 1 hits
He's due for a comeback.
He is
due for a comeback.
Now,
we love his voice.
I want to point out what he just did because you really hyped up this Purple Church, and I thought I was going to get to hear something about it.
Oh, no.
And then he just told me enough that I'm going to go buy it now.
Yeah.
Just enough that now I'm going to have to buy it.
Yeah.
Purple Church is a Southern Gothic love story caught in an untimely struggle between faith and doubt. A young Baptist minister is lured into the city double life of a lovely co-ed turned Memphis stripper. Purple Church was the nickname of a popular strip club in Memphis called Platinum Plus.
I mean, that's so the movie that I want to make. You know, I mean, that is just because I want to make real movies about real people that deal with real stuff.
Yeah,
man.
the book's already written. Just now turn it into a screenplay.
It's already a script, bro. I told him, I said, man, I want to turn this into a script. He goes, it's already a script. I'm like, then send it.
All right. So now we're doing the first movie, and we're turn around and do Purple Church, and you know,
absolutely. Oh man, I got the next 15 years of this doctor's life planned out. None of it involved emergency room.
I thought you were a doctor. Well, I was, and then Hollywood.
Who says you can't do both?
TEXASWOOD.
Yeah, TEXASWOOD in Louisiana.
Well, we're not going to do them all in Louisiana, man. Come on, I feel like a traitor doing all these movies in Louisiana.
Louisiana is pretty favorable.
I do love Louisiana, and they are kind of like our bastard step brother or
my kids,
our cousin, or they're our close cousin. They're not a step brother. They're our
bring
close
up Purple
cousin.
Church in Texas.
My kid's mother is from Sulphur. She's a coon ass from Sulphur. So I always told my kids they were half-asses.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome, man.
But I love them over there. We've got all kinds of family over there, too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, we're going to have a good time in Louisiana. We're having a good time at Neon Moon in LaPorte, Texas. On TEXASWOOD right now, and
today has been an exceptionally fun day.
Oh man, it's
been awesome,
and the fun ain't ending, man. There's still pulled pork over there.
They're about to strike up a band,
man. I'm telling you, we got. All right, man. The Chris Elliott band plays here on Sundays. He's awesome. We're gonna get him on here sometime. I guarantee you, he's incredible. So, well, man, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming to Sunday, Save Savage Sunday service. 4 S's.
Thanks for having me, Randall, and look forward to being production partners.
Thanks for being on TEXASWOOD, and man, I'm looking forward to this, brother. We're gonna have some fun.
We are too.
Yeah. All right. TEXASWOOD is brought to you by Tuna, the Manly Salon. Because there ain't nothing unmanly about getting your hair cut and your eyebrows and ears waxed.
And the Texas Wood brought to you by Tune-Ups, the Manly Salon. And guess what? So's my beard. Brought to you
And
by
my
Tune-Ups.
eyebrows and my ears.
You
Man,
got the
they're pretty.
works.
Dude, I'm telling you.
People
were tripping out on the social media. They're like, "What were you doing?"
You were just from chair to chair to chair,
Hey, man.
and they took care of you.
Hey man, I like
took
being,
care of me.
I like being pampered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need it.
yeah,
You
I do.
take a little stress off.
That's what I'm talking about. I got the massage and everything. You were gone by then. It was awesome.
Man.
Got the shoulder massage. I was like, ah.
Well,
It was great.
no one had ever cut. I'd never let anybody trim my beard, but man, Tiffany over there, she
Right.
made it a real experience. I mean, it was relaxing. She had me back. I'm staring. I said, you should put a TV on the ceiling.
Absolutely.
So-
Tune-Ups is the bomb.
Well, we'll be back there very soon. We got some surprises coming up. Some people in Houston and Austin.
Right.
And who knows? We may end up in Dallas.
Dallas. Chicago.
Yeah.
They just ain't no telling where we're going to be.
And our mutual friend, Mr. Stanley, I'm meeting with him this week.
Oh, man. Steve Stanley. That's
Stanley.
my boy.
Yep.
With,
I told him.
Ogre.
Yeah, I told him. I said,
Right?
man,
Ogre.
let us next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ogre.
Yeah.
It's an awesome band.
But you and it's old guys rocking enthusiastically.
Yeah.
And you look at them and they look like grandparents, and then when they start playing, you're like, oh my gosh, these guys are good.
Hold on now. They look like cool grandparents.
Yeah, they are cool.
I mean, hell, I'm a grandparent.
Yes, I know that. You have a lovely grandchild.
Just calm down, tone down the whole grandparent thing.
I'm just
with
saying,
me and Steve.
I'm
man.
older
me
than
and
you
Steve
are.
gonna get mad at you.
I'm older than you are, and I am not ready to be a grandparent. You hear that?
well.
I am not ready to be a grandparent.
Well, yeah, just keep on thinking that.
All right.
You're gonna be a grandparent. It happens to all of us.
Oh, I hope to one day, just not right now.
Amen.
My kids are doing exceptional, and they're doing other things right now, and it's not their time.
Right.
And I know that in my spirit that it's not their time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway, well, man, I've enjoyed today.
Man, I've had a great day. It's good. Man, Save Savage Sunday service.
Yeah.
And then we got to do a Texas Wood on top of that.
Yeah.
And I think there's still some pulled pork, my boy, over there.
I'm going to get some. Well, man, you ready to close this thing out?
We'll close it out.
All right. Thank y'all for being here. We love y'all, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
No.
You can do about it.
That's right. May not like you all the time, but we going to love on you.
See y'all next week on Texas Wood.
Well, folks, that's it for now. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with all the happenings in Texas Wood. God bless, and see you next time.